Earlier in the broadcast, Bob Simon told us about Mandela's release after 27 years as a political prisoner. He spent most of those years on Robben Island, northwest of Cape Town. The conditions there would have broken most men, but in many ways, they made Nelson Mandela. Here's Alan Pizzey.
When the apartheid regime shipped Nelson Mandela to this bleak, windswept island, they thought he and his fellow black resistance leaders would quickly be forgotten. Eddie Daniels arrived here alone, chained and terrified to serve 15 years for sabotage.
Initially, it was very bad. It was 24-hour silence. And all we had in our cells was a mat. One mat. We had 3 blankets, very thin and dirty. And it was cold, cold, cold. We slept with all our clothes on.
On Eddie Daniels' 3rd day, he had an encounter that changed his life.
I saw this big man standing in front of me, and I looked up and I saw it was Mr. Mandela. I said, "Good afternoon, Mr. Mandela." He says, "The name is Nelson. Welcome." So we became friends.
For 18 of the 27 years he spent in prison, Nelson Mandela walked down this corridor every day, and at the end of that walk, there was no freedom, there was this. An 8-foot square cell with a mattress on the floor for his bed and a bucket for a toilet. Mandela was allowed 1 visitor a year for half an hour. Mandela and Daniels were among 30 political prisoners isolated in what was simply called B Block.
We sat in the brick.
Mandela and his fellow inmates worked long days in the yard. Sitting on bricks, ordered only to look straight ahead, they smashed slate into gravel with hammers. Black inmates wore short pants in all weather, the apartheid regime's way of reminding them that all black men were considered boys, no matter what their age.
They were forced to go out.
The yard is now just another stop on the Robben Island tourist route. But no visitor can imagine what it meant to Eddie Daniels when his jailers allowed the B Block prisoners out in the yard one night after 6 years of being locked in by sunset.
And I looked up and there were the stars. Beautiful, big and beautiful. I felt I could touch them. It was tremendous, tremendous.
In 1990, after 27 brutal years of incarceration, Nelson Mandela walked out of jail and called for reconciliation, not revenge, and went on to transform the apartheid regime into what came to be called the Rainbow Nation. As for the place that will forever be linked with Nelson Mandela,
and the symbolic meaning of the island changed, no longer of fear, of pain, but a place symbolizing freedom, symbolizing respect for your fellow human being. Today, Robben Island is that symbol.
Alan Pizzey, CBS News, Robben Island.